You're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. Fida Souza, thank you for joining us. Is India being brainwashed? That's the question we're asking. Remember, viewers, the reason why we need to ask this question is because you constantly receive information on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on Google, on Instagram. You might be inclined to believe the information that you read. In the last 3 days, something very important has bubbled to the surface. And that's simply this. Facebook has acknowledged that its data about 50 million users has been taken and sold to a third party who may or may not have used it to rig the American elections in the favor of Donald Trump. This means, and we've been trying to explain this to our viewers because it's very important to understand that if you've been violated in some way, how have you been violated? Facebook has data about you, who you are, where you live, who you're related to, what you like to eat, what you like to buy. Where do you go for your morning walk every day? Do you fly out of the city often? Do you like to shop? Are you into fitness? And of late, in India at least, Facebook knows very clearly what your political leaning is, depending on which videos you play, what articles you click on, and what you forward and comment on. When Facebook sells this data, or one of Facebook's vendors, and remember, whenever you click on a quiz that asks you, do you want to know what you look like in 50 years? Or which Harry Potter character you're most likely to turn out to, or whether or not your vocabulary is any good. Every time you click on that, it asks you to share your data, and you give access and you give permission. Now you have a third-party vendor who is not Facebook who has all of your data. When that data is sold to someone, that person can now cut your neighborhood down to the last slice. How many people live here of a particular community? What are their political beliefs? What are you sharing? What do you like? What sort of carefully engineered lie do I have to send to you on your WhatsApp because I now have your phone number? Do I have to send to you on your Facebook because now I have all your details? Do I have to send to you on your Instagram because it's linked to your Facebook? In order to make you believe what I want you to believe. I can engineer a lie to come to you from all of these different directions, and if you hear it enough, 5 times, 10 times, from different sources, you will believe it, you will comment on it, and you will forward it to other people who will also believe it. A lie then becomes the truth. And the reason why I want you to know this and why we are spending so much time on this today is because you have to know that almost everything you read on WhatsApp and on social media is a lie. And it's not even a white lie. It is a dark, twisty, bubbling, carefully engineered lie to brainwash you. You have to be circumspect about everything that you see. You have to doubt everything that you read. Do not believe anything that is sent to you, because now we know for sure that they know who you are and they know how to lie to you. Joining me on the show today, Ritesh Bhatia, cybersecurity expert, Mukesh Sharma, CEO of Cryptomize, Abhimanyu Radhakrishnan, technology journalist, Srinivasan Korali, the co-founder of Technology Lead OpenStats, Vineet Goenka with the BJP, who also was the co-convener of the BJP IT cell in 2014. So a very important voice. Savio Joseph, co-founder of Teen Butler, is a digital marketing agency who will tell us how this is done. Mohammad Khan for the Congress. Neha Nagpal is an advocate with the Supreme Court. I thank all of you for making time to be part of this conversation. Who's lying to us and how much? I'm going to start with playing for you a sensational audio clip. My team sat down from yesterday to today. They called every single digital agency pretending to be a political party from Karnataka, which has an upcoming election, asking for these digital agencies to help us influence the audience. Here is one conversation that we're going to play out for you as a result of those phone calls.
नहीं, इलेक्शन कौन सी जगह की बात कर रहे हैं?
कर्नाटक।
कौन से स्टेट का?
कर्नाटक।
हाँ, तो आपको कौन सी पार्टी आपकी खड़ी कर रहे हो नहीं कि अभी कोई पार्टी है आपकी?
नहीं, पार्टी तो है हमारी, तो हम बस जानना चाहते थे कि आप लोग ये कैसे किस इसमें ऑपरेट करते हैं। ऐसा आपने पहले कुछ किया है, कुछ तो बताइए हम लोग को।
ऐसे हमारे यहाँ मतलब कोई है, ऐसे हमारे यहाँ मतलब कोई है, कुछ कंटेंट बना देते, कुछ अपलोड कर देते, ऐसे है 8-10 लोग, तो फिर आपस में मिलके हम लोग काम करते हैं।
ठीक है, मैं और ये जानना चाहता था कि हम आपसे ये इसका आउटरीच कितना हम लोग समझेंगे।
देखो हमारा एक तो पेज चल रहा है भारत का, ठीक है, जैसे भारत का ट्विटर भी है, फेसबुक पेज भी है, इंस्टाग्राम में गूगल प्लस है।
हाँ।
और उसमें हमारा फेसबुक पेज है, उसकी सबसे ज्यादा है। पर डे उसमें करीबन 10 से 12 लाख लोग डेली विजिट करते हैं, क्योंकि हम केवल क्या हिंदुत्व, चाहे कोई भी फिर इसमें पार्टी भी क्यों हिंदुत्व के विरोध में जाते तो हम उसके खिलाफ भी बोल देते, हम सपोर्ट कर देंगे ऐसा।
अच्छा,
ठीक है।
और पेमेंट डिटेल्स थोड़ा बताइए।
पेमेंट डिटेल्स तो क्या है, अभी तक हमने वो पेमेंट वाला काम किया नहीं, मतलब किया नहीं, हम लोगों को केवल सेवा भाव से सारा किया है। हमने बीजेपी का भी किया, सबका काम किया ना, तो हमने किसी से कुछ लिया नहीं है और हमने कुछ अभी तक किया भी नहीं है। लेकिन आप अगर हमारा केवल भारत पे ही काम करना चाहोगे तो भी हम बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं।
लेकिन अगर आपके साथ कोई एजेंसी है जिसको हम लोग फिर टाई अप करें, ऐसा कुछ आप प्रस्ताव रखते हैं?
हाँ, वो एजेंसी वाले का हम नाम आपको नंबर भेज देंगे थोड़ी देर में, क्योंकि हमने अभी क्या है, बीजेपी का तो थोड़ा काम भी किया था, क्या नाम है, ये अभी गुजरात चुनाव में भी किया था, उत्तर प्रदेश में भी, मतलब बीजेपी का तो हम पहले से कार्य करते आए हैं।
मैं कैसे काम किया था हम भी
काम मीन्स की मतलब जैसे कि उनके खिलाफ जो भी मतलब लोग आते हैं, उन लोगों की पट्टी खोलना, वो लोग कितना मतलब हिंदुत्व विरोधी है, देश विरोधी लोग हैं, उस तरीके का।
Whoever says anything against them, we go ahead and write content against those people and we troll them. Ritesh Bhatia, are you surprised? Ritesh Bhatia, are you surprised?
Not at all, Faye. I'm not surprised at this. This is just one that you're showing. There are like hundreds of them. And again, I'm saying it's just not of one particular party. It's there for all particular parties. There are hundreds of such. So this particular person who's talking about, he's talking about not only about his Facebook page, but he's also talking about his website. So there are websites also where people really visit. Now they are brainwashed. Now how do they come to the website? Again, the same thing. It's like, you know, the tweets, and then they say, come on, click over here, you'll get the complete news. And now you go to that website and you become a follower of it. So there are many such ones.
Also, there are websites that look like news agencies, but they're not news agencies.
They aren't. There are websites that look like news agencies. There are, surprisingly, there are YouTube channels. Now, you know, it will call as MS channel, it will call as some particular channel, whatever name, ABP channel and all. And they just name themselves as channels and they just keep uploading all sorts of news, whether now they are verified news, fake news or true news, but they keep doing it. And surprisingly, there is no action on it, which is very shocking.
Well, I want Vineet Goenka to respond to that, to the audio that we just heard. Vineet Goenka, again, more people just claiming lies, according to you. Is there any truth in what this person said?
And he expressly mentioned...
See, probably, if you see what he has been saying, that he has not charged and he has been working, that's it, what is his claim is. Whether he was engaged by a particular party or particular karyakarta or a particular candidate has to be investigated. If he has done that, it is illegal. Has party authorized anybody? No, my knowledge goes none of them. So we'll have to investigate if this person has done it for anybody, especially a candidate. And if he's claiming that he's done for BJP, I'm a bit shocked, and this is a rude shock for me because I was engaged in all the conversations and none of this kind of services was hired. Now, he has been repeatedly saying that he has never charged like that. That also has to be understood. We'll have to understand whether these guys really have this kind of followers and they can really influence people. I think success always will have people who want to claim that they were part of the success. Obama success, there were many people who claimed that they were part of Obama. Probably there are people who have never participated in BJP but would like to claim that the victory of BJP was part of their efforts. So we'll have to distinguish this genuine karyakartas versus this kind of people.
All right, that's a fair point, and I'll take that point. Vidit Goenka saying that there will always be people who claim to have been part of the success, even if they weren't. But I will say this, that over and over again, that one influencer, the one agency turned around and said that you will not need us, you will not need to pay us if this is your ideology, we will do it for free. Let me bring in at this point Mohammad Khan, who wants to respond. Mohammad Khan? Go ahead. And I asked your colleague Shama Mohammad Khan in the last 1 hour the same question over and over again. Let me ask this question of you as well. Has the Congress party been involved with Cambridge Analytica in any way, or with OBI in any way at all?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it gives me great joy to be coming here to your channel right now, for the simple reason, I was just on a show. And that show did a fantastic expose that turns this entire issue around. There is this gentleman called Avnish Rai. He is a director in SCI, the Indian arm of Cambridge Analytica. And they have done a massive expose, and it was so beautiful. This guy on camera admitted that they were hired to sabotage the Congress's chances in the elections. He also said, among other things, they worked for the BJP in 2012. Goenka claims he was the head of their social media campaign, so he also stands indicted, because Avnish Rai said that the leaders who he met with were, and I named them on your channel, Sanjay Joshi, Narendra Tomar, and Mahesh Sharma, all BJP leaders. Srinivasan Jain's story, it is uploaded on NDTV. Anyone who wants to go this can watch it right now. They've also uploaded the tweets of the statements made by this guy.
While I am a very liberal journalist, Mohammad Khan, I will draw the line with you publicizing other channels on my show. Stick to the question I asked you, Mohammad Khan. Stick to the question I asked you, which is, has the Congress been involved in any way whatsoever?
Then let me answer it this way.
Yes, go ahead.
Whistleblower, absolutely not. And in fact, let me answer it in one line. There has been an expose recently in the public domain which has shattered all of their claims, where a whistleblower has come out, named them, and said they have been working with them since 2012.
Let me open this up to the rest of my panel right now. Savio Joseph has joined us. Savio Joseph works with a digital marketing agency. Savio, what does a digital marketing agency do? What can you do for a political party?
I think, Faye, if I have to kind of sum this up right now, and I think I've been watching the debate for quite some time, and I think as far as politicians are concerned and political parties are concerned, we talk about two eyes. I'll go back to what happened, during Obama's elections in 2012. There was a very similar strategy that they used, which Cambridge Analytica used in 2016. They had the same apps created, but the difference was they actually told people the information that they're gathering, and here they didn't. As far as Indian political system is concerned, I think people got onto it largely to inform people to a very large extent. That was the idea, which BJP in 2014 mastered it really well. Prime Minister Modi, as I mentioned on the channel yesterday again, that he was the first social media Prime Minister of India. But as you're seeing the entire landscape changing, that information is slowly changing into influence. And why is it so? That's also because the kind of consumption people are having. Telecom data has become so cheap. People are using your small screens a lot more. That's where the lot of influence is going to happen. Also, if you look at the way elections and election campaigns ran earlier, you had these massive rallies, which I think has peaked out to a very large extent. Today, sitting in the studio, I can probably get messages from people to a very large extent, and that's how campaigning has come down too. And that's, I feel, is the way forward as far as 2019 is concerned as well. Because if you look at it, the data that you would need of these people to target them, tailor those messages, and put it out is very important. But having said that, I think it's very important, the voters in this case need to be very, very aware as to what they are reading. Cross-check, because these WhatsApp groups, you go through them, it's very, very easy to pass on those messages. Be careful as to what you're reading on your timeline and newsfeed.
So as a digital marketing agency, Savio, if I were to give you the Facebook profiles, and let's say there are 50 million Facebook profiles that have leaked out, if I were to give you a relevant number in India, what could you do with it?
Well, I think it's very easy to replicate what happened, in the States. Which is the entire psychographical profile of an individual. As they called it, the psychographical warfare tool is what they termed it as. The whistleblower Christopher mentioned that as that was the thing. And to think about it right now, if the whistleblower hadn't come out and spoken about it, I think we probably wouldn't have cared about it much, because no one would have got to know about it. That having said, in the morning when Mark Zuckerberg was interacting with the media, he did mention that Indian elections are coming up, Brazil elections are coming up, and he knows how important this market is because India is the largest market. Forget not about that as far as Facebook is concerned. They wouldn't want people on this side of the fence to get offended at any cost. So with that data, there can be a lot that can be done. He also mentioned the measures that they're taking right now. You could access a lot of things. What it's come down to today is just 3 things.
But let's ask Vineet Goenka this question. Mohammad Khan, I'm going to come to you after this. Vineet Goenka, the Minister of IT came out yesterday and said that he will summon Mark Zuckerberg. How serious is the concern right now in India that our data is being leaked, manipulated, and is being used to influence us?
See, as I've been always advocating data sovereignty, the whole fear which I had personally, or maybe all the intellectuals have, is this: the data has been exploited. And people like Mark Zuckerberg can tend to do that. So here, if you understand what the minister said, if he tries to do that, we will have no other option but to ask for his justice. Now, here if you see, the entire data which was taken by the CA, probably the intention was ill. And Congress was involved in that. So it becomes more serious because a political party of this country is involved.
So one second.
Congress may manipulate this data.
Yes, that's fair. I want to just quote this here, and I'm reading this from the press conference that the IT and the law minister had yesterday, where he said, let me make this very, very clear. We fully support freedom of press, but if there's any attempt, covert and overt, by social media, including Facebook, of trying to influence Indian electoral process by undesirable means, we will neither appreciate nor tolerate. If need be, stringent action will be taken. He went on to say, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, you better note the observation of the IT Minister of India is referring to himself here. We welcome the FBI Facebook profile in India, but any data thefts of Indian, we have stringent power to summon you in India, is what he has said. So now, as a citizen, I'm concerned. How worried are we that this has happened to us if a senior cabinet minister had to come out and make this statement?
Of course, we need to be worried. I really think, sorry if I'm getting that view.
Yes.
But I really
of course,
think
we all are worried. We all are worried, be it by social media companies, be it by e-commerce companies.
No. Vineet, one second. Vineet Goenka says we are worried. You're worried, Vineet Goenka, that the data has been leaked out of Facebook. So out of the 50 million, Vineet Goenka, out of the 50 million profiles that have leaked out of Facebook, how many are Indian and how many of our profiles have been leaked? Do we know?
Well, I don't have the information right now. We'll have to check what is the data which has been leaked, whether there are Indians or not. But there's a warning which has been sent. Do not try to do any kind of misadventure with us. We are not other economies which will tolerate. Data sovereignty is what has been discussed here, and that is a larger picture which has to be discussed. That is a larger concern which has to be discussed. We will not allow any kind of misadventures by anybody, whoever it is, however powerful it is. Investigation will happen. Investigation will come out with clarity whether Congress has done it or not, whether C has been involved or not, or whether Facebook has done it deliberately.
Vineet Goenka, I have one last question before I move to the rest of my panelists. Please, one last question, Vineet Goenka. And I'm quoting here, we've got stringent power, we shall use it, including summoning you to India. So we're talking about summoning Mark Zuckerberg to India to answer questions. Can we use the same stringent power to summon Nirav Modi to India to answer questions, Mr. Vineet Goenka?
Of course, I can tell you this is done. If you want to ask me any fugitive can be done. Whether it is D. Raja, whether it is Kalmadi, whether it is Nirav Modi, anybody can be done and they can be booked. Whether they belong to Congress, whether they have been hired by Congress, whether they have been...
Why are we diverting?
All right, let me go over. All right, fair enough. Let me go over to Neha Nagpal now, advocate with the Supreme Court. Neha Nagpal, should we be worried? And is this, do you see any truth in this? Are we being brainwashed, Neha?
Well, I think we should be worried for sure. We're living in a time where we cannot...
One second. Neha, my question was to Neha, please. My question was to Neha.
I really think we need to be worried. We live in a time where we cannot avoid, but we have to accept that social media is here to stay. Social media influencers are here to stay. Where knowledge is power, where where media influencers will be used to galvanize the youth for elections or any other social purpose. We are really in a time where we need a comprehensive data protection, data interference policy. We are at a time where the Supreme Court has given the larger mandate by accepting that uh, right to privacy is a fundamental right, and that cannot be taken for granted. Something articulate in a opinion poll without telling them what that purpose of that information is for. Because political parties, be it anywhere, be it in India, be it in the United States, be it in the United Kingdom, be it in any part of the world, cannot tailor make and force information out of me, because my right to franchise, adult franchise, is a right in privacy. You can't mold your campaign on the basis of what you're getting out of people without being honest to them. I think that is the bigger concern here. You can't use social media to exploit people for their personal views.
Well, we have a lot of people on the phone line right now. We're going to take, we're going to take a couple of calls at this point. Who do we have on the line? Go ahead. All right. Let me bring in the rest of my guests. Mukesh Sharma, CEO of Cryptomize. Mukesh Sharma actually put out a poll saying, do you want your personal data to be compromised? The obvious answer is no, but a lot of people said yes. That's because Mukesh Sharma got the trends moved in his direction, which is something that happens very often. Mukesh, go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to say that the direction of the debate is going in an entirely different way. We are not moving towards a solution. We are rather just discussing everything out, and nothing is going to come out of it if it keeps on going like this. First of all, let me tell you how exactly this thing happens. So an organization, let's say an influencer, what they basically do and how they basically do. So first of all, as soon as they gain access to such amount of data, that data can be either gathered using hackers, using malware, using malicious applications, what happened in Cambridge Analytica case. And when something like that happens, what exactly is the next step that is taken is psychological profiling is done for each and every individual that is involved in that data that has been gathered, which is called micro-targeting. So as soon as this micro-targeting is done, so what comes out of it? What exactly comes out of it? What exactly is the information that is gained out of this psychological profiling? We know what exactly are these people liking, what exactly are the things that these people would rather succumb to, or what exactly are the way to basically move these people or basically change their perception or rather brainwash them into believing something they initially or rather currently don't believe. So what exactly happens after that? A team of influencers, the word influencer is mentioned with the team. So let me tell you what exactly comprises of this team. There are hackers, there are content developers, there are social media experts, there are data scientists, there are designers, there are psychology experts. All these experts, they basically start working on creating content, extremely strong content, and that content is used and rather basically using influencers and basically social media experts. The same content is basically then propagated in the right way onto the right eyes. This is what exactly happens.
So what you're saying, Mukesh Sharma, is that we are told lies, specific lies designed for each of us.
Yes.
Lies that they know will convince us.
Yes.
And who's doing it? Is it one specific political party, or are all of them doing it?
Digital media is a platform. See, social media is a tool. Social media is a platform. We cannot point fingers at who exactly is it that's doing what, but this is something that is possible. Let me tell you another thing. Over the past few months, we have been working on a few malwares. We have been reversing a few malwares. We have been doing some research on this so-called SMM platforms that are used to influence and basically promote something to an extent that it suddenly goes towards trending. So what we basically found out is fake bots are not the only thing that is actually influencing anything. Imagine the whole discussion is today is basically targeted towards fake bots. But I would like to add a really important thing. Fake bots, they're fake. Obviously, they're just profiles. They're computer-generated profiles. They're not going to affect anything at all. Actually, what is happening, and actually the people who actually influence this is, after using malwares and malicious applications, real data on real people, and real people, I'm stressing this out, real people, not fake people, real people do this. Not the fake ones.
Why do they do it? Are they being paid? Why do they do it? Are they being paid? Are they being paid?
No,
why do they do it?
No one is going to be paid. No one is being paid currently. No one is being paid. See, like it was mentioned earlier on this debate earlier. So if someone says that this thing is black, and suddenly a lot of people start saying that this thing is black, and suddenly, let's say there are articles that suddenly pop out saying that this thing is black. There are videos saying this thing is black. People suddenly start questioning their opinions regarding the things.
Okay.
They suddenly start believing as well that this thing might be black.
But Mukesh, this is just one part of it. You know that there are particular volunteers or influencers you're calling. But I'm sure that there are also these agencies where the people are also paid. Forget the agencies also, even at individual levels. Now, even if you go to at rural places and all, there are people who are just asking them, okay, if you're not doing any particular work, aapka kaam itna hi hai, aap bas ye kijiye. They just do the Photoshop work, they will just make some content in different languages depending upon which state they are, and they'll just start influencing the people. Am I not right about it?
Right. Now I'm going to open this up to the entire panel. I'm going to open this up. One second. I'm going to open this up because we have a lot of people coming in on the phone line, and I'll want you to answer those questions. Anand on the phone line from Bangalore. Anand, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Faye. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And Faye, before I go ahead, I want to say you're like the Will McAvoy of Newsroom. You're the female Will McAvoy. And
thank you. I'm a big fan of that show, so thanks. But go on. What's your question?
Yeah. So this is for Mr. Goenka. Mr. Goenka, I've been watching this debate since it started at 8 o'clock. I am a little confused because at around 8:40 you made a statement that nobody in BJP is towards digital, something like that. You pushed us towards the digital media. You pushed us towards. My details right now, my bank details are with a Chinese company called Paytm. My Aadhaar details are with an American company. Okay, and right now I don't care about the Congress bashing that you do. Quite frankly, they did it, they did not do it. There's no proof, I don't care. But why have you not protected my data? If Congress has done it, what are you doing to protect my data? You are at power, boss. You are at power. Even now when Faye is asking, can you get Nirav Modi down, you're adding Raja's name to it. I don't care. I don't care how good or bad Congress is. You are at power. And my data is not secure, and you have done nothing about it. So instead of bashing Congress...
Right. So what is being done to keep our data safe? Vineet also on the phone line from Bangalore. Vineet, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. You know, if this entire matter...
Can I answer him before the other speakers speak?
Yeah, just two questions so that we can get through as many as possible. Vineet, very quickly, go ahead. Vineet, what's your... One second.
I find the whole thing quite hilarious because, you know, time immemorial, people are trying to influence other people to their point of view. Here is a new technology being used in a new way. And I don't think that, you know, we shouldn't be actually too much worked about it. The fact is, if you're on internet,
but you know, Vineet, I think the problem here is, and I'll take that question to one of the journalists on the show. The difference is that when you were reading newspapers, the opinion was on one page, which was the editorial page, and it very clearly told you that it's the opinion page, and the people who were allowed to write on that page were very senior journalists or senior, professionals, and everything they wrote was fact-checked. The difference here is that this is not just somebody using media to change your mind. This is someone lying to you to change your mind, and that's far more difficult. Jayashree on the phone line from Pune. Jayashree, go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Jayashree.
Hello.
Yes, Jayashree, can you hear me?
Hello.
All right, we're going to come back to that. Vineet Goenka, my question to you is, what are we doing to keep our data safe? Shouldn't the government take some responsibility for data safety or security?
Of course, that's why we have questioned Mark Zuckerberg. This is what you have been a part of various discussions where have been data sovereignty been discussed. Justice B. Krishna Committee will come out with data privacy. That is what the BJP government has been doing. It's not the Congress government which has done it. We are the first government which are talking about data privacy. We are talking about data sovereignty. So let me tell you, we are very, very proactive. And that's how this leak has come out. That's how Ravi Shankar Prasad has warned Congress and also its hired agencies. Had we not been concerned about this,
but I think okay, so that we can understand, my question again, Vineet Goenka, is the leak came out in America. Facebook had to investigate in America. Is there any specific information or evidence we have in India for the leak? How many Indian profiles? What was Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad reacting to particularly?
A government can take a preemptive step. It is a preemptive step on the basis of the information the minister would have it, ma'am.
And okay, and do you think that was?
I'd like to give examples of past leaks.
What preemptive step has he taken, Goenka?
Okay, no, I want to focus on this preventive step. Ritesh Bhatia, was that a preventive step? Did we prevent any sort of data leaks by that press conference?
No, I don't think so. I think, in fact, we created a lot of hype and we created a lot of unnecessarily issue about the whole thing, because again, my question is the same thing. Out of that 50 million, was there a lot of data of the Indians that we are so worried since 2 days? We all are debating about it. What was there? Or is it that the Facebook is involved in our next elections, which I think he is. It is because today Mark Zuckerberg himself mentioned that yes, we are going to be very careful with the upcoming elections of India and Brazil.
So he's very aware of our
So he's
elections.
very aware about it.
Savio?
So the point being, I think one is, of course, all of us are talking about the two political parties, and I think in all of this, I think the user or the voter is being completely missed out. And I think that's something that we need to get the discussion back onto, because that's the data that we're talking about. We also need to look at it from a different perspective. Here we look at elections from a winning point of view. Political parties look at it from a winning point of view. My 2 cents to that would be, it doesn't last for long, because if political parties look at themselves as products which probably they target to consumers, companies which are able to build a brand equity over a longer period of time is who survive in the market. So today now, we're talking about Facebook in the US. People know about it already, about what's wrong. So having said that, Indians will be careful going forward, hopefully to a very large extent. Facebook is going to be a lot more careful. I think, as I mentioned yesterday in the debate, it's something that they will be looking at very closely, because 241 active million users, that's something that don't want to kind of mess with.
Right. So we have how many Facebook users in India?
25 crores. Yeah, that's 241 million.
25 crore Facebook users, and with 25 crore Facebook users, is that enough? Is that enough of a number to influence an election?
Absolutely. I mean, 25 crores we're talking about like almost 1/5 of the population of the population. And half of them are fake, by the way.
Yeah, when we are talking about 25 crores. That's where it comes down to, right? The profiles that people have today. Yes. So the problem that Facebook is facing is data, and secondly also fake news, which probably has been spoken about to a very large extent, which has to be curbed. And that flows from Facebook to WhatsApp groups, which probably have become the other hub of passing information. And I think going forward, social media elections 2014, I think these 2019 elections are going to be fought on data.
All right, viewers, our phone lines are open. I'm going to open this to rebuts to our entire panel at this point. Mohammed Khan, I interrupted you the previous time. Go ahead. What's the point you'd like to make?
Thank you, Faye. Faye, there's this expression that we hear again and again. Data is the new oil. Data, the more information you have, the more the metadata that you have, it's like a sort of a currency, right? You're able to build a digital map of a person's activities, preferences, and so on and so forth. One of the reasons why one of your very distinguished panelists said, let's not make this political. But the reason it has become political is because you have this party, right, called the BJP. And they are very data hungry. They were data hungry when they were campaigning, as evidenced in a book written by Prashant Jha called How the BJP Wins, published last year. And they are data hungry while in government. They've realized you when they have your data, as evidenced by the numerous debates on Aadhaar that we have had, where we till today have been unable to decipher what is the government's intention in collecting all of this data. Goenka comes here, gives sweeping statements, which I don't know if he's authorized to make, that we will do this, we will do that. Boss, if there is a breach, take immediate action. Don't give statements in the public. Okay? Number 2, you people have a deep and abiding relationship with Cambridge Analytica. The fact that you're doing this right now,
where is your proof?
When you're living in a glass house, you're throwing stones, the fact is you are embarrassing yourself. I will give you proof. I'm so happy you asked me that. Number 1, we have a tweet, a screenshot of a tweet by Arvind Gupta. I think this person worked under him, if he claims, that's what he claims, where Arvind Gupta praises CA. Number 2, Smriti Irani follows CA. Number 3, Himanshu Sharma, who is part of the Indian arm of this organization, takes credit in the public domain for having worked on Mission 272. You cannot disown all of these people. And of course, the expose I mentioned, which is in the public domain now, where a director of the Indian arm of the company names BJP leaders, says we've been working with them since 2012. How much more proof do you need? But these are our proofs. And Ravi Shankar Prasad, on the other hand, relies on newspaper clippings. So I'm sure you can see whose case here is stronger. Finally, I will say this. All of this is a tragic diversion away from the events of Mosul, where 39 people have died.
Yes.
And the BJP has been lying to the families for 4 years. We are moving a privilege motion against them for this very issue. This is all an attempt to distract the public.
Okay, yeah, all right. We'll have a separate conversation about that, to be fair. Abhimanyu Radhakrishnan wanted to make a point. Abhimanyu, go ahead.
We're talking about the elections coming up in the next cycle, most probably next year as scheduled in the country. Let's just see what's happening in some other developing countries, right? In Kenya, the ruling party which won, and then there was a re-election again was using Cambridge Analytica. There's lots of news reports about it. There was some talk about some psychographic profiling where you were trying to make one particular tribal community, the Luo, look a little more aggressive and prone to violence. In Mexico in 2018, there are going to be elections. Cambridge Analytica has already put out ads on Facebook asking for people to help them in 7-8 governor races in that country, but yet they haven't actually applied with the Mexican equivalent of the election commission, which is compulsory to do for any political company or operator that is helping a party. So there's controversy over there as well. So you can be rest assured that they're going to be trying very aggressive business development all over the world, especially the developing world, either through subsidiaries or through some other fronts. So some similar companies like Cambridge Analytica, the idea is that the same rules that applied earlier must apply now. So what if you're social media, so what if you're technology? We should know who you are. If you are playing a formal influencer role, register with the election commission, or let's make some rules around these things. We had no issues with things like Project 272 because that was, as I said, opt-in data which users knew we are giving our mobile number to the BJP so that they can give us information. That's fine. But if we are taking a quiz about XYZ and then being told that, oh, this was used to create a psychographic profile of us and then target us with specific kind of stories, most of which are fake, that's where it gets dangerous.
Yes.
So I think we need to do something before the election cycle.
Hey, I would like to correct Abhimanyu here because Narendra Modi's personal app was leaking data. It's not okay to collect personal data from everybody, especially if you can't keep it secured. Back in December 2015, the Prime Minister's personal app was leaking most of this information, and it was reported by a young programmer. And I did an analysis of it, and most of their APIs were public. The amount of data which was collected through that app was around 7 million, which is 70 lakhs. And I don't think it's okay for political parties to collect personal data, and I disagree with Abhimanyu there. If you can't protect this data, you're not allowed to collect
I have a
it.
second question for you, since you said
Even
it's
if
not okay for political parties to gather data.
Somebody for their voter ID card and they know they're giving it to you.
No. So Srinivas, the combination,
No, it's not okay
right now of Facebook social media data and Aadhaar, the combination of that data, how potent is that now?
More than a nuclear bomb.
So, Faye, you would be probably aware of the state resident data hubs, which are built on top of Aadhaar, which are building 360-degree profiles of everybody in the country. So think of this, Facebook data plus Aadhaar, which is creating a file on everybody in the country. Now, most of this information is not secure. And the governments in power actually have access to this data. So people in the power, bureaucrats, politicians, ministers, think of what all they can do when they can know everybody who is opposing them. So you are trying to kill opposition by actually doing surveillance. And Facebook's model, by the way, is called surveillance capitalism. All of these models of stealing data from people and trying to make profit is called surveillance capitalism. So what technically here it's happening is surveillance, and it's not okay. And the data protection law, when it comes, need to make it pretty clear that these kinds of models are not okay, even then, when people are opting.
That's a very scary picture that Srinivas is painting for us.
That this is opt-in. Yes. I want to opt out.
You want to opt out. Kishore Kumar on the phone line from Kolkata. Kishore Kumar, go ahead very quickly, please.
Thank you, Faye, for giving me the opportunity. I have a simple question for Vineet Goenka. Are you Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We can all hear you.
Are you so hell-bent upon Aadhaar just to see that you can influence the 2019 elections? Because it seems you are in a mad hurry and you are forcing everybody to get enrolled in Aadhaar. I have a strong doubt on this, and I like your smile. It's very nice, but you can kindly answer my question.
All right. Vineet, I'm running out of time, but I'll give you 30 seconds to answer that question.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Can I answer
is the Aadhaar rush a similar rush? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just a business as usual. Every government would like to put a program. The program has been put. It is going on. There are people who did not like it. They have gone to Supreme Court. Supreme Court has not stopped us from collecting it. That is as usual. Be assured the data is safe. Be assured it is for the public good. And I think if it would not have been public good, Supreme Court have asked us to stop altogether. So I have answered your question. I have answered this several times. I will be more happy to answer this several times. It's a business as usual. There is no rush. It's no rush at all.
Well,
Mr. Khan, your comments, please. Mr. Goenka, again here. Personal data cannot be called public good. It's my data. I own it. It's not owned by the country. Okay, there is a clear distinction between personal data and public data. Aadhaar is not public data. It's personal data. And the ministries, the government is actually sharing Aadhaar data with private businesses in calling it public data. It's not public data, it's personal data.
Yes. Gentlemen, forgive me, I have to interrupt you here because I've run out of time on this show. Please, Vineet Goenka, just to rebut what you said, you said if it was bad, someone would have asked you to stop. I believe there are over 70 petitioners in the Supreme Court right now asking you to stop. So that argument doesn't hold if you say that Aadhaar is so good that nobody has asked us to stop. 72 petitioners are in the Supreme Court right now asking the government to stop.
Transactions, 125 crore people supporting us.
Okay, so discount the 72 people, everybody else is supporting you. I don't think that's a fair assessment. But I have to wrap up this conversation here. I've run out of time. But in conclusion, viewers, this is where we are right now. And I'm going to recap it one more time. Facebook has confirmed that 50 million profiles have leaked out of their system for various reasons, and we could go over those reasons. So every time you click on something on Facebook, you take a quiz and it asks you, can we access your data, can we access your speaker, can we access your microphone, your photographs. This is all data that you're handing over. All of that has now been leaked out of the system of Facebook, sold to other people, and is now all over the world. Now in that system is also data of yours and mine out of that 50 million. The very scary thing is that in the wrong hands, this data can be used to engineer a lie that suits you perfectly and to hit you with that lie on Facebook multiple times, on Twitter, on WhatsApp, and on various other platforms until you begin to believe it, until you begin to forward it, until you become part of this entire matrix of lies that are designed to brainwash us. Now, there will be a lot of space that will be taken over by political parties who will be quickly passing the buck, pretending that it was not them. Evidence shows that all of them are in it. All, the small ones, the big ones, the independent ones, the city-based ones, the local ones, they're all in it. They're all doing it because up until 3 days ago, it was considered normal. Like I said, this data can be used to tell you that a particular pair of shoes are better for you. This data can be used to tell you that vitamin A is better for you. It can be used to tell you that this is how you should walk every day in order to lose weight. That may seem harmless. But if it begins to tell you that there is a certain community that you should hate, there is a certain community that you should be attacking, that you should be disrespecting, or that you should be in some way vigilant of, it is then tearing into our society and causing grave and serious danger. I ask you for one thing. Do not believe anything you read on WhatsApp. Anything at all. Do not believe anything you read on WhatsApp. Be very and highly circumspect about anything you read on Facebook or on Twitter. That is the only way to go about it. And in return, I offer you this. On Mirror Now, we will from now on spend a lot of time and a lot of energy investigating these various cases, finding sources of people who are putting out fake news and fake data, finding agencies who are helping politicians do this, because as a watchdog, it is our responsibility to weed out any wrongdoing and to highlight it for you. So we will continue to be a watchdog. You please be careful about everything you read and everything you forward. Because it all boils down to this. When they brainwash us, they treat us like we are stupid. And we are not stupid. Because we are not going to fall for it. And now, we will bring you stories of how you're being lied to, so that before the next election, the most important decision that you will make for the next 5 years is choosing our next government. We will not allow anybody to brainwash you through that process. Thanks for watching.